Since ancient times, people have looked up at the sky and sometimes seen wonders in it.
Oh, look, are they moving?
Oh my gosh.
Today, we have cameras with which we can not only observe the unexplained, but also record it.
What the hell's going on here?
In this video, I present to your attention a selection of mysterious celestial phenomena captured on camera by real eyewitnesses. In January of this year, a resident of Phoenix, Arizona, discovered an unusual object in footage from an outdoor surveillance camera. The footage shows a glowing sphere slowly moving across the property. It does not resemble a drone or a lantern, and moreover, its movement seems purposeful. A few days later, a second video with a similar phenomenon appeared online. It also captured a glowing sphere that first moved chaotically and then rapidly shot upward and disappeared from the camera's field of view. Both videos caused heated discussion on the internet. Most users are convinced that these phenomena are connected with an alien civilization observing life on our planet. A resident of Los Angeles went on a late walk in the picturesque Griffith Park. There he encountered an unexplained phenomenon. At first, the man thought that he was lucky enough to witness a meteor shower, so he decided to capture the spectacle on camera. However, the longer he watched the phenomenon, the more oddities he noticed. These objects moved too slowly, did not leave long trails, and periodically changed the shade of their glow. All of this is uncharacteristic of meteor showers. The author of the video waited a long time for official news about astronomical events, but none followed. In the end, the eyewitness concluded that he had witnessed something supernatural. This unusual phenomenon took place on February 7, 2024, on a highway near Tallahassee, Florida. That night, drivers saw a strange object appear in the sky. It had the shape of a loop and seemed to be woven from dense smoke. The drivers immediately concluded that it could not have been an ordinary cloud. First, the sky that night was absolutely clear, and second, the mysterious object differed greatly in form and texture from ordinary clouds. The eyewitnesses tried to find an explanation for what they had seen, but without success. Residents of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, witnessed a fantastic anomaly, which they managed to capture on camera. Suddenly, a dark disk appeared in front of the sun. It completely covered the sun and remained in the sky for several minutes. Even more frightening was the fact that in the opposite part of the sky, thick black smoke appeared. The eyewitnesses assumed that both phenomena may have been connected, but exactly how remains a mystery. A resident of the state of Idaho shared footage online that forced users to wonder what exactly had really been captured on video. The recording shows a mysterious object moving smoothly across the sky. It has an unusual shape and seems to consist of several geometric elements. The author of the video is convinced that he saw an alien spaceship disguised as a cloud. The internet has long discussed theories that alien craft may imitate familiar earthly objects in order to remain unnoticed. It is entirely possible that the eyewitness captured exactly such a UFO. Residents of several cities in the Australian state of South Wales witnessed an astonishing phenomenon. Before their eyes, mysterious glowing objects appeared in the sky, moving in perfect synchrony. People called the police, but even the officers who arrived at the scene could only watch what was happening in amazement. Eyewitnesses were divided in their opinions about what they had seen. Some believe that it was a group of drones, while others are sure that they were observing extraterrestrial flying craft. Other people said that they had seen not a group of unidentified flying objects, but one disc-shaped object with many glowing points. What it really was remains a mystery. On January 20th, 2026, residents of Hampstead, England, became witnesses to an unusual anomaly. At about 9 o'clock in the evening local time, the sky suddenly turned bright orange. The glow was so intense that night became day. Alarmed eyewitnesses assumed that a large fire had broken out and immediately reported it to the emergency services. However, specialists detected no fires. The mysterious phenomenon lasted about 10 minutes, after which the sky became dark again. The local authorities gave no comments, so the mystery of the phenomenon remains unsolved. Recently, a video recorded by residents of one of the cities in the state of Arizona appeared online. In the footage, we can see a mysterious object in the sky. It resembled a giant spotlight, but the light from it spread strictly in one direction. For several hours, the object hung motionless in the air, and then suddenly disappeared as if someone had switched it off. Eyewitnesses, struck by the unusual nature of the phenomenon and by the absence of official information, regarded it as an extraterrestrial phenomenon. A resident of the city of Boise, Idaho, recorded an astonishing anomaly on video, one that is difficult to believe is real. While walking outside the city with his dog, he noticed unusually shaped clouds. They resembled a human silhouette. Enlarging the image on his phone, the man was astonished to recognize in the outlines the appearance of Jesus Christ. The author published the video online, and many viewers perceived it as a divine sign. Scientists explain the phenomenon as pareidolia, the brain's tendency to see familiar images in random shapes. Residents of Orlando, Florida, recorded a mysterious phenomenon on video. Before their eyes, a huge cloud-like object appeared in the sky, resembling a tadpole in shape. The video quickly spread online, provoking heated discussion. In the comments, users put forward a variety of hypotheses, including a version involving a space jellyfish, a rare atmospheric phenomenon that occurs during rocket launches. However, experts who studied the footage refuted the theory of a jellyfish, since the observed phenomenon differed substantially and appeared at noon, whereas space jellyfish can be seen before dawn and after sunset. What it really was remains a mystery. A video recorded several years ago in the state of Nevada still causes arguments online. The footage shows a dark flying craft with a flat disc-shaped body moving contrary to the laws of physics. Many users immediately recognized in it a classic flying saucer and considered it proof of a visit by aliens. However, skeptics are convinced that the video is nothing more than a hoax. So far, none of the versions has received unequivocal confirmation, and the debate over the authenticity of this footage continues. An amateur astronomer, while observing the stars, noticed an unusual phenomenon. Glowing points in the sky began to move, sometimes chaotically, sometimes in a circle. Such behavior is clearly not typical of ordinary stars. Intrigued by what he saw, he recorded what was happening on video and uploaded it online, hoping to get explanations from viewers. There were many versions, from satellite groups to extraterrestrial craft. However, no definitive answer was found, and this mystery remained unsolved. In Titusville, Florida, a worker at the Space Coast Industrial Complex captured the moment when a disc-shaped object appeared in the sky. What distinguished it from known earthly aircraft was an even glow across its entire surface. This footage seems like true science fiction, but according to the author of the video, he has seen this glowing disc in that area several times already. He believes such regular appearances are not accidental and connects them with the activity of aliens. Boys were training on a football field after sunset. At first, everything was going as usual until several bright orange spheres suddenly appeared in the sky. Frightened, the boys moved farther away. They were afraid that the objects might fall, but a few minutes later, the spheres abruptly shot upward and quickly disappeared from view. One of the boys managed to capture the phenomenon on camera, and that footage became the only evidence of the incident, which remained unexplained. On the internet, you can find many videos showing sightings of mysterious triangular UFOs. Recently, another such video appeared online. In the footage, a dark triangular object can clearly be seen silently hovering high in the sky. Viewers immediately put forward the version that it could be the ultra-secret military aircraft TR-3B. According to unofficial data, this American development is distinguished by its triangular shape and its ability to take off vertically. It is believed that the craft uses advanced camouflage technologies and can remain invisible to radar. The existence of the aircraft is a subject of dispute, but this video may become proof that TR-3B is not just fiction. A resident of Shanghai shared an unusual video on social media, recorded from the window of his apartment. In the night sky, he noticed a bright glowing stripe. When the man zoomed in on the image with his camera, it turned out that it was not a single line, but many small glowing spheres lined up in a perfectly straight chain. The anomaly remained in the sky for about 10 minutes and then disappeared as suddenly as it had appeared. The video sparked heated discussion. Some users believe that these may have been test launches of Starlink satellites, while others lean toward the version of an atmospheric phenomenon or even a UFO. A shocking video published on YouTube attracted the attention of millions of viewers. In this footage, a bright glow can be seen in the sky above one of the cities of Cambodia. The uneven structure of the glow resembles an energy river smoothly floating through the evening sky. Heated discussions and arguments arose in the comments under the video. Some users are sure that the recording is the result of photo editing and the work of artificial intelligence. Others are struck by what they saw and put forward the boldest versions, including the hypothesis of the opening of a portal into another dimension. During a powerful thunderstorm in Dover, Delaware, local residents became witnesses to frightening optical anomalies. At the moment of a bright lightning flash, a dark silhouette appeared in the sky, resembling the classic figure of death with a scythe. The viewers were stunned by what they saw, since the outlines seemed clear and three-dimensional. But that was only the beginning. During the next flash, another figure appeared in the sky. This time, it resembled a giant squid floating in the clouds. Both phenomena lasted fractions of a second, but people managed to capture them on camera. Scientists are not yet undertaking to explain these phenomena, suggesting that they may be optical illusions caused by the play of light and storm clouds. In Hanoi, Vietnam, an astonishing incident took place. During a walk through a city park, a local resident noticed an unusual object in the sky. At first, the man took it for a bizarre cloud, but he soon understood that he was mistaken. The object swayed smoothly and moved through the air exactly like a real jellyfish, although it is obvious that these sea creatures do not know how to fly. The man managed to film the phenomenon, but no one was ever able to solve the mystery of this unique phenomenon. A group of tourists went on an excursion to ancient historical structures located in a secluded valley. Suddenly, everyone's attention was drawn to a strange object in the sky. It was flat, perfectly smooth, and shone brightly in the sun. At the same time, it made no sounds at all. Eyewitnesses note that its shape and manner of movement resembled neither an airplane nor a drone, nor any other known earthly flying craft. The object moved above the ruins for several minutes, as if scanning the area, and then rapidly disappeared behind a mountain ridge. On May 12, 2018, the authorities of Santiago, Chile, unexpectedly appealed to citizens with a request not to go outside after dark. The reasons for the emergency appeal remained unknown for a long time, which caused a wave of rumors. It later became clear that a huge disc-shaped object with glowing lights around its perimeter had been noticed above the city. It hung in place for an hour, and then a bright beam burst from its lower part, directed straight at the central part of the city. Witnesses described the beam as a pulsating stream of light that caused a feeling of anxiety, as if aliens were about to abduct someone. A few minutes later, the UFO vanished without a trace. Several years ago, a strange video appeared online. Its author and the place of filming remain unknown, but the quality of the video makes it possible to examine what is happening in detail. The footage shows a radiant halo with a dazzling white center appearing in a clear sky. Unlike a halo or other atmospheric phenomena, the object behaves anomalously. A few seconds later, white spheres begin to fly out of its core, each of which, moving away, forms its own smaller halo, as if the system is self-replicating. The process repeats several times, after which everything disappears. No one, not even scientists, has been able to give a rational explanation for what happened. In June 2024, residents of an Australian city became witnesses to a frightening celestial phenomenon. The clouds suddenly turned a deep red color, after which bright discharges flashed in the sky, resembling lightning, but with an unnaturally even glow. Then, 3 wide bands of red light appeared, coming from a single point above the horizon. One of the bands began to move along the streets, illuminating buildings with a pulsating light. The local residents were so frightened that they thought the end of the world had come. The phenomenon lasted 2 hours, after which it disappeared just as suddenly as it had begun. No official explanations for the incident were ever given. Residents of the city of Austin, Texas, went outside to capture an incredible phenomenon. Completely suddenly, a strange cloud formation appeared in the night sky. It was very thick and dense and constantly changed its shape, at times stretching out, at times twisting into a spiral. But the strangest thing was that a multicolored glow appeared inside this anomaly. All of this created the impression of a heavenly show. The phenomenon lasted about 5 minutes, after which the glow gradually faded, and the clouds, having lost their density, slowly dispersed. Unfortunately, no official explanations of what had happened ever followed. In Tulsa Hills, Oklahoma, a local resident captured unusual traces in the sky that formed an even grid, as if someone had deliberately drawn it. The man was disturbed by what he saw and immediately posted the video online. The footage quickly attracted the attention of users. Viewers were also astonished and put forward a wide variety of theories that might explain what had happened, from secret military experiments to anomalies in the atmosphere. Since the grid resembled contrails, many users recalled the conspiracy theory about chemtrails. Such trails, unlike ordinary condensation trails, remain in the sky longer, expand into cirrus clouds, and can form a grid in the sky. They are left by aircraft spraying substances that affect the weather and people's health, and may also be used for population control and for testing climate weapons. In May 2025, passengers on a plane flying from London to Paris became witnesses to a mysterious anomaly. At an altitude of about 10,000 meters, an unknown object resembling a glowing portal appeared in the sky. It pulsed with a soft light and periodically emitted bright flashes that rushed downward toward the surface of the Earth. Some passengers managed to capture what was happening on camera. However, even after the video was published online, it remained a mystery what it was a natural phenomenon, an optical effect, or something else. A resident of the city of Dallas, Texas, was returning home late at night and noticed an unusual natural phenomenon. The lightning in the sky was behaving in an unusual way. It flashed horizontally rather than vertically, as it normally does. These lightning flashes also appeared very often, but the most astonishing thing happened later. At one point, a horizontal lightning bolt appeared in the sky and remained there for several seconds, as if someone had pressed pause on it. The man recorded what was happening on camera and posted the video online. Many users connected the phenomenon with conspiracy theories, suggesting that it was the result of secret experiments, for example, tests of climate weapons or the work of mysterious energy installations. Residents of Irvine, California, became witnesses to a mysterious phenomenon. An object appeared in the night sky consisting of many small glowing orange points resembling sparks. At first, some observers assumed that it was fireworks, but that hypothesis quickly fell away, since the anomaly hung in the sky for about 3 minutes without changing its position or the intensity of its glow. No official explanation of what happened followed, so people were left only to guess what they had seen that night. Late at night, a resident of a suburb of Vancouver, Canada, went outside and saw a dense cloud in the sky with a mysterious green glow. At first, he thought it was the light of a distant spotlight, but he soon realized that the source was inside the cloud itself. The glow periodically changed shape. At the beginning of the observation, it resembled a sphere, and then it stretched into a long line. The man recorded the phenomenon on video and sent the video to local authorities in the morning, but they ignored the report and gave no comments. This only intensified rumors that the phenomenon might be connected with extraterrestrial civilizations. A resident of a small settlement in Thailand shared an amazing video online. According to him, he went outside at night to capture a powerful thunderstorm. At the moment of a lightning flash, a strange glowing pattern appeared in the sky, resembling shattered glass. Mysterious lines spread in all directions, creating a bizarre mosaic. The man had never seen anything like it before, so he immediately posted the video on his social media page. The video rapidly gained thousands of views and spread across the internet. Users' opinions were divided. Some believe that it is an optical illusion caused by the peculiarities of the thunderstorm and the humidity in the air, while others suggest that the phenomenon is connected with geoengineering vozdejstvia on the atmosphere, for example with weather control experiments. Residents of Tulsa, Oklahoma, were shocked when they saw a mysterious grid in the sky. It glowed with a soft blue light and was perfectly even, as if someone had modeled it on a computer. The anomaly appeared suddenly and lasted only a few seconds, but some eyewitnesses managed to film it. The published videos caused a stir. Some viewers considered the phenomenon proof of the simulation theory. The grid that appeared looked as if the code of virtual reality had glitched and revealed the truth of our world. A resident of the Colombian city of Medellin posted a strange video online. The footage shows dense clouds, behind which a yellow-green glow from a round object can be seen. A few seconds later, a second object appeared behind the clouds, but unlike the first one, it began to emit a bright red glow. Both phenomena lasted for about a minute, after which the objects disappeared behind the clouds. The video caused a wave of discussion. Many viewers connected the anomaly with biblical prophecies about the signs of the end times. They quote fragments from the Book of Revelation, where frightening spectacles are mentioned before the end of the world. Some commentators also note that the number of unexplained phenomena in the world is growing and see this as an alarming signal. Before Christmas, residents of the Brazilian city of Recife became witnesses to an impressive and somewhat frightening spectacle. Before their eyes, an orange cross appeared in the night sky. The object had a clear geometric shape with straight lines and maintained it for several minutes. Then, the cross slowly dispersed, as if dissolving into the air. The reaction of the townspeople was mixed. Some took the phenomenon as a blessing before the holiday, while others, on the contrary, saw the cross as a warning of coming disasters or even the end of the world. In March 2025, the sky above the city of Tampa, Florida, presented local residents with an amazing surprise. Instead of the usual single sun, two more luminaries appeared high above the so-called mock suns, or parhelia. This optical phenomenon arises because of the refraction of sunlight in ice crystals in the atmosphere. It would seem that this was, although rare, still an explainable phenomenon. However, a few minutes later, other objects appeared next to the parhelia spheres with a white glow of different sizes. They pulsed at irregular intervals, creating a mesmerizing spectacle, and it was impossible to explain their nature. The astonishing phenomenon lasted almost 2 hours, after which only one real sun remained in the sky. This video was recorded in October 2025 in Dubai. Late at night, the author of the video, looking out the window, noticed two fiery spheres in the sky. The objects were clearly not meteors or space debris. They moved along a definite trajectory, circling over the city as if someone were controlling them. This phenomenon continued for about 10 minutes, after which the objects synchronously gained incredible speed and disappeared from view. The eyewitness still does not understand what phenomenon he observed that night. Recently, residents of Dubai witnessed an unusual spectacle in the night sky. Suddenly, bright flashes resembling lightning appeared high above, but it was something different. At first, people thought it was fireworks, but after a few minutes, something happened that forced them to change their minds. A thick beam of light burst out of the clouds, slicing through the sky for a second and descending almost to the surface of the Earth. After that, everything disappeared, leaving only questions behind. In September 2025, residents of South Wales, Australia, encountered a mysterious phenomenon. A local resident noticed bright flashes that illuminated everything outside. At first, the man thought there was a problem with the electrical grid, but his assumption was not confirmed. Soon, a video published by another local woman appeared online. In that footage, the flashes can be seen occurring high above the ground, accompanied by loud popping sounds resembling explosions. The sounds were so powerful that they were heard within a radius of several kilometers. Despite dozens of reports from eyewitnesses, the authorities have not yet given any official comments. Ufologists have already put forward several hypotheses, but none of them has any scientific confirmation yet. A resident of Bogotá, Colombia, noticed something unusual in the sky from his window. Through the dense clouds, a silhouette resembling a flying craft with clear angles and a soft glow could be seen. The eyewitness doubted his own assumptions and decided that it was simply a play of light and shadow. But 2 minutes later, the object disappeared and the clouds dispersed along with it. The man suggested that the clouds might not have been a natural phenomenon at all, but a sort of masking veil concealing a real object. In this footage, eyewitnesses captured a strange object flying high in the sky. It was dark in color and had long appendages resembling tentacles. It looked strange, since the object resembled an octopus or squid, and these animals by nature are unable to fly. Interestingly, there is also a video online of another similar flying object, but this time it was green in color and larger in size. Since detailed information about those two videos is absent, it is very difficult to say with certainty what this is. For many years, people have tried to unravel the mystery of the pyramids and have often attributed a connection with extraterrestrial civilizations to the ancient Egyptians. Recent observations near the complex have only intensified rumors of the mystical origin of these majestic structures. Last year, several videos recorded by eyewitnesses appeared online at once. In this footage, strange objects in the shape of inverted pyramids can be seen flying over the historic area. Interestingly, the figures had a clear geometric shape with straight edges and symmetrical proportions. The authors of the videos note that from a distance, the objects resembled clouds, but ordinary clouds are not capable of taking on such regular outlines and maintaining them while moving. Recently, footage from Detroit, Michigan showing mysterious lights in the sky appeared on social media. They formed a huge circular pattern and remained motionless for some time, after which they began to move smoothly. The video quickly went viral. In the comments under the video, eyewitnesses immediately responded. Several people claimed that they observed the phenomenon personally. According to them, the lights were bright enough to stand out against the twilight sky and maintained a geometrically correct structure throughout the observation. Many are convinced that they witnessed the flight of a real alien spaceship. This footage was recorded on August 22, 2025, above the majestic peaks of the Sierra Nevada during a unique heavenly phenomenon. In clouds woven from shimmering shades of white and gold, an astonishingly clear face of Jesus Christ appeared. The features of the face, conveying peace and serenity, were so detailed that they inspired awe and delight in eyewitnesses. Even more astonishing was the fact that above the figure there rose something like a halo, a bright pulsating aureole intensified by the rays of the setting sun. It gave the image an otherworldly grandeur. And although scientists explain this event from a scientific point of view, believing people are convinced that it is not merely a coincidence, but a genuine divine miracle. For more than 100 years, people from different corners of the planet have reported sightings of cigar-shaped objects in the sky. Another such account appeared on March 7th, 2023. On that day, a resident of Minneapolis, Minnesota, captured a mysterious object on camera. According to the eyewitness, something resembling a huge stick glided smoothly and completely silently across the sky, which is not characteristic of known earthly aircraft. The eyewitness published the video online, and most viewers decided that the object had extraterrestrial origin. In July 2016, Xi'an Wudangshan Airport in China found itself at the center of a mysterious incident that forced several flights to be delayed. Suddenly, an unknown flying craft appeared in the sky. It emitted bright beams of light, and on both sides of it hovered two glowing spheres. Eyewitnesses, in a panic, recorded what was happening on their phone cameras. 15 minutes later, the military arrived at the scene, but by that time the mysterious objects had already vanished without a trace. The incident remained an unsolved mystery. 2 years ago, a resident of Redgate, Montana, published a video that instantly attracted the attention of the internet community. The footage shows an unusual object in the sky, a glowing sphere around which several smaller glowing spheres rotated synchronously along a vertical axis. The eyewitness claims that the phenomenon lasted about 3 minutes. It resembled neither a natural atmospheric phenomenon nor the work of drones or balloons. The man still does not understand what he saw in the sky that night. In November 2017, residents of several cities in the state of Texas became witnesses to a mysterious phenomenon. A strange object appeared in the night sky. It resembled a clump of glowing energy and sped rapidly toward the surface of the Earth. The shape remained visible for only a few minutes, but some eyewitnesses managed to capture the phenomenon on smartphone cameras. The footage was sent to local astronomers and researchers of atmospheric phenomena. However, none of the experts was able to identify this phenomenon or offer a convincing explanation of the nature of the anomaly. On January 20th, 2025, residents of Denver, Colorado became witnesses to an unusual phenomenon. A bright blue beam suddenly burst out of the clouds and shot vertically upward. At first, people decided that it was part of some kind of light show, but there was no news about any such events. The beam remained in the sky for about a minute, after which it disappeared without a trace. Eyewitnesses massively shared their impressions on social media and appealed to local authorities for explanations. However, no official comments ever followed. Late at night, a resident of Mexico was returning home along a highway near the city of Chihuahua. In the distance, he noticed a strange, fiery glow. At first, the man thought it was a fire, but he soon realized that some sort of flying craft was hovering above the trees. The eyewitness took out his smartphone and captured the phenomenon on camera, after which he called the police to report the unusual occurrence. The most astonishing thing happened after the call. A few seconds later, the mysterious object abruptly disappeared, as if suspecting that it had been noticed. On the 14th of October, 2021, a man went outside and witnessed an astonishing sight. In the sky, he saw tall buildings with glowing windows appearing from behind the clouds. It seemed as if an entire city was hidden in the sky. The phenomenon lasted for several minutes and then disappeared without a trace. The man shared the video online and it quickly gained popularity. Users suggested that it could have been a fata morgana, a rare optical phenomenon in which mirages of objects located beyond the horizon appear in the sky. Usually this phenomenon is observed over the sea or in deserts, where there are sharp differences in air temperature. However, the place where the video was recorded is located far from deserts and seas, so the event has never been fully explained. Residents of several cities in Brazil witnessed an anomalous celestial phenomenon unlike anything known to science. In the middle of the day, the sky suddenly darkened, and a dark spot appeared on the sun resembling a phase of a solar eclipse. Even stranger was the fact that a few minutes later, thick black smoke seemed to begin forming around the sun. Such an effect is never observed during classical eclipses. Another mysterious detail of the event was that it happened without any prior forecasts, although scientists always warn about eclipses months in advance. In total, the phenomenon lasted for 2 hours. Eyewitnesses recorded it on their cameras and demanded explanations for what had happened, but no specialists ever provided an official comment. The mystery of this eclipse remains unsolved. Vacationers in Miami Beach, Florida, witnessed an unusual sight that they will remember for a long time. At about 9 o'clock in the evening local time, 2 bright glowing objects appeared in the sky. One of them emitted a rich violet glow, while the other shone with a warm yellow light. Each had a distinct trail stretching behind it. At first glance, it resembled falling meteors, but eyewitnesses immediately noticed a difference. The observed objects moved much more slowly than typical cosmic bodies. They glided smoothly and deliberately across the sky. All the vacationers were astonished by this phenomenon and filmed it on their smartphones. Some witnesses suggested that these could have been experimental aircraft of an unknown type or test launches of new technologies. No official explanations for the phenomenon were given. A farmer from a village in South Wales in the United Kingdom installed an outdoor surveillance camera and watched the nighttime recordings every morning. On the 8th of December, 2024, he noticed in the footage that 2 glowing objects suddenly appeared above the barn. One of them rapidly fell directly in front of the camera, then unexpectedly bounced off the ground and rose upward again. This cycle repeated several times, after which both objects disappeared without a trace. After carefully inspecting the area, the farmer found no signs of any impacts. Experts immediately ruled out the possibility of meteorites, since such bodies leave craters when they hit the ground and physically cannot repeatedly bounce off the surface. Unfortunately, the objects were never identified. On the 11th of March, 2025, a resident of the Canadian city of Toronto witnessed an astonishing celestial phenomenon and managed to capture it on his smartphone camera. The footage shows a mysterious spherical object moving among the night clouds, emitting both yellow and blue light at the same time. The man posted the footage online, and it immediately attracted the attention of ufologists. They noted that it could not have been the moon, since the diameter of the object was significantly smaller, and the trajectory and speed clearly indicated an artificial origin. Even more intriguing was the fact that several days later, similar reports came from Richmond. This time, eyewitnesses observed objects of a different shape emitting a greenish-yellow glow. Residents of Canada believe these events may be connected, but what exactly it was remains unknown. In April 2025, a fantastic event occurred above a historic cathedral in Poland. Late at night, the top of the spire suddenly lit up with a bright blue light resembling an electric arc. At that moment, a local resident happened to be passing by and managed to record the phenomenon on a phone camera. The video instantly went viral on social media. Many users recalled a popular theory claiming that ancient buildings constructed in geoactive zones or on ancient sacred sites are capable of accumulating energy and periodically releasing it in the form of light effects. Although this hypothesis has no scientific confirmation, it sparked lively discussions. In October 2025, residents of Moscow witnessed an unusual astronomical phenomenon. Before their eyes, a bright green meteor streaked across the night sky. People were shocked by what they saw and wondered for a long time whether it was truly a cosmic body or something else. Soon, astronomers clarified the situation. There really had been a meteor in the sky above the capital, and its unusual color indicated a high concentration of certain minerals in its composition, most likely iron or nickel. Specialists note that such bright meteors are observed above megacities no more than once every several years, which makes the event especially rare and memorable. In September 2025, in Tucson, Arizona, a local resident recorded a video of a mysterious celestial phenomenon. The footage shows several strange lights suddenly emerging from thick clouds. They gradually move closer together and merge into a single object glowing red, green, and yellow. The object visually resembled an elongated spacecraft. The eyewitness who recorded the phenomenon admitted that he was shocked and even frightened by what he saw. Because of this, he stopped filming, and what happened next remained a mystery. A resident of the Chinese city of Chengdu heard unusual sounds coming from a construction site and went outside to find out what it was. In the sky, he saw a strange glowing formation. It resembled a cluster of sparks from fireworks, but unlike them, it remained completely motionless for several minutes. The man recorded the phenomenon on camera and posted the video on social media. The clip attracted the attention of thousands of users, but no one was able to give a clear explanation for what had been seen. A resident of San Francisco witnessed a mysterious phenomenon. Going outside late at night, he saw a bright blue beam of light in the sky. According to the man, it was definitely not lightning because the beam remained in the air for a long time and did not flicker. The eyewitness recorded the phenomenon on camera and uploaded the video online. The clip quickly gained popularity, and users began actively discussing the recording and proposing various theories. Many recalled the so-called Blue Beam Project, a conspiracy theory according to which governments could use advanced technologies to project holograms in the sky. The goal of such manipulation would be to influence the population or simulate supernatural events. However, these are only assumptions. It is possible that the source of the beam was something entirely different. Sailors aboard a cargo ship traveling from Vancouver to Halifax witnessed an unusual celestial phenomenon twice. First, at a relatively low altitude, they noticed a mysterious shape emitting intense flashes of light. A few minutes later, the form of the object changed. It stretched out and began shimmering with different colors. It looked fantastic. Soon, the phenomenon disappeared, but after some time, the sailors saw something astonishing again. This time, a figure resembling a twisting golden ribbon of light slid across the sky. Despite their extensive experience, the crew members had never encountered anything like this before. What it was remains a mystery. A family from the Mexican city of Guadalajara went on a short trip to Mineral de Pozos and stayed at one of the local hotels. At night, they decided to look out the window and saw a strange glowing sphere gliding along the hills. The eyewitnesses were surprised to see this phenomenon and captured it on camera. After the video was published, it became clear that this was not a single observation. That same night, many people in different parts of Mexico noticed similar glowing spheres. Eyewitnesses described them as small, bright objects smoothly moving through the air. Even scientists were unable to identify these mysterious spheres. The author of this video was returning home from Delaware to New York. At one point along the route, he noticed 3 mysterious spheres in the sky, motionless in the air and forming a perfectly even triangle. Wanting to understand what was happening, the driver slowed down and recorded what he saw on camera. According to the man, the spheres looked as if they were made of metal, but where they came from in the sky and what kind of engines could have kept them suspended in the air remained unclear. The author of the video also added that the spheres stayed within sight almost until the end of his route. In 2024, a research scientist went on an expedition to a remote region of Antarctica to study environmental changes under extreme conditions. The mission proceeded quite normally until the researcher noticed something inexplicable. While flying over one of the areas, the scientist noticed figures moving across the snowy expanses. They resembled people, but their height was incredibly large, several times taller than an ordinary person. According to the researcher, what he saw caused genuine fear. The only logical explanation seemed to be giants, although the very idea of such beings existing seems unbelievable. The materials from this expedition were handed over to experts, but no rational explanation for the observation was ever found. On the 20th of October, 2025, an eyewitness captured an unusual phenomenon in the night sky on video. According to the author of the footage, he noticed a strange object that looked like a burning item falling toward Earth. At first, the man assumed that it was a meteor or something similar. However, several details made him doubt this version. First, the object did not have the typical trail that meteors usually leave behind. Second, its falling speed was much slower than that of typical celestial bodies entering the atmosphere. The eyewitness observed the phenomenon for about 1 minute, after which the burning object suddenly disappeared. A tourist came to relax in the San Gabriel Valley in Southern California, and while he was out for a walk, he noticed a strange substance in the sky. It partly resembled clouds, but in structure it looked more like sea foam. Unlike ordinary clouds, the structure moved much faster and continuously changed its shape. While observing it, the eyewitness noticed another odd detail. Just before dispersing, the mysterious substance left behind a pearlescent cloud. The tourist captured the phenomenon on camera and posted the video online in hopes of understanding what it was. However, no clear explanation was ever found, since none of the known atmospheric phenomena matched the characteristics of the strange cloud. Vacationers at the popular Russian resort of Sochi dropped everything they were doing and began filming an unusual sight. Before their eyes, a huge ship appeared above the water, seemingly floating in the air. After videos and photographs were published online, it became clear that the tourists had witnessed an extremely rare phenomenon known as a fata morgana. This complex type of mirage occurs because of a sharp temperature difference in layers of air above the sea. Light rays bend, creating distorted and repeatedly duplicated images of objects located beyond the visible horizon line. In 2025, a video from Vietnam appeared online that still shocks viewers. The footage shows a rare phenomenon during which thousands of toads fell from the sky onto the city. Eyewitnesses filmed the event on their phones in amazement, not understanding what was happening. Although such a phenomenon seems unreal, it actually has a scientific explanation. Scientists explained that the rain of toads occurred because of Typhoon Bualoy. A powerful vortex ahead of the typhoon lifted numerous toads from bodies of water, carried them for some distance, and then released them over land. Such incidents occasionally occur, demonstrating how astonishing nature can be. A resident of an apartment opposite the Statue of Liberty in New York witnessed a mysterious phenomenon. When the man looked out the window, he saw shadows periodically appearing behind the monument, forming disturbing shapes. The eyewitness recorded what was happening on camera and uploaded the video online. The reaction from viewers was mixed. Some are convinced that it was simply a play of light and shadow from the statue itself and its illumination. However, in that case, a question arises. Why does the shadow appear mirrored? Others believe the shadows are connected with mysticism. They argue that shadows cannot form directly in the air without any surface, and that is indeed strange. Several friends in California noticed an astonishing sight in the sky during an evening walk. The walk began as usual until a bright flash suddenly appeared in the sky, after which a burning object began falling downward. The eyewitnesses managed to record the event on a phone. According to them, at first they thought it was a meteor. However, the way the object behaved caused confusion. Unlike a typical meteor, it moved almost at a right angle toward the surface of the Earth, and its falling speed was far too slow for a celestial body. Astronomers did not confirm any meteor detections in that region, so the burning object was never identified. On the 9th of June, 2022, at about 11 o'clock at night local time, residents of one of the cities in the state of Florida witnessed an unusual phenomenon in the sky. According to eyewitnesses, a bell-shaped object appeared in the sky, spinning rapidly in one place while flashing in different colors. This phenomenon did not resemble any known atmospheric event. many tend to think that it was some kind of aircraft. At the same time, some eyewitnesses doubt its earthly origin, since the behavior of the object and its appearance do not fit conventional ideas about modern technology. Residents of the city of Quetta in Pakistan were shocked by an unusual phenomenon when a cloudy veil of orange and yellow colors appeared above the city. It spread across the sky, resembling flowing fabric. People had never seen anything like it before, and at first many assumed that it was the Northern Lights. However, this version was quickly dismissed, since Quetta is located too close to the equator for auroras to appear. Experts who watched the video of this phenomenon suggested that these could have been lenticular clouds reflecting moonlight at a special angle, creating a truly fantastic picture. On the 20th of June, 2021, it was a clear, sunny day in the Mexican city of Ciudad del Carmen. However, two unusually shaped clouds suddenly appeared in the clear sky. They looked as if someone had cut out flat discs and hung them in the sky like an applique. Eyewitnesses managed to capture the phenomenon on video. In the footage, clearly outlined round clouds can indeed be seen, standing out sharply against the clean sky. And although the structures looked very strange, scientists were able to explain them. According to them, these were lenticular clouds. A traveler went for a walk toward the Blue Ridge Hills after sunset. At first, he noticed nothing unusual, but then he saw a bright blue spiral appear in the sky. It rotated very quickly, and a few seconds later, small, glowing spheres began falling out of it. They slowly descended toward the ground, moving in different directions as if following an invisible map. A few more seconds later, the spiral suddenly disappeared. The author of the video is convinced that what he saw was of extraterrestrial origin. And indeed, it is simply impossible to explain something like that as an atmospheric phenomenon. Late at night, a resident of the state of California heard a loud noise and went outside. In the sky, he noticed a strange object and managed to record it on his smartphone camera. Despite the video footage, it is very difficult to describe. Some viewers saw in it a large dark bag, others a slowly falling person, while still others are sure that it was an aircraft. According to the eyewitness, the mysterious object was slowly descending with a dull roar, but its landing site remained unknown because it disappeared behind neighboring houses. Out of fear, the man did not dare inspect the area, and so the mystery of this phenomenon remained unsolved. In the Italian commune of Trino, a group of cyclists was preparing for a night ride, but the start had to be delayed because the athletes' attention was drawn to an unusual phenomenon in the sky. Eyewitnesses noticed two red vertical lines that were slowly, almost imperceptibly, moving upward in the same direction. Some members of the group suggested that it could have been an optical illusion or a reflection of light from ground sources. However, others are convinced that the anomaly has a different explanation and is hardly accidental. Among the theories, there was even a hypothesis about an alien spacecraft. The video of the phenomenon gained thousands of views online, but no one was ever able to give a clear explanation of what had happened. Late in the evening, a group of friends from Mexico was returning home and witnessed an unusual phenomenon. From the car window, they noticed a glowing object in the sky. At first, the friends thought it was a meteor entering the atmosphere. However, they soon realized that the object was behaving atypically. Instead of rapidly falling and burning up, it moved smoothly upward, which is of course uncharacteristic of meteors. The friends managed to record the phenomenon on a smartphone, but it remained on the list of mysterious phenomena observed in Mexico. Late at night, a resident of the state of Florida was working near an old warehouse. At some point, his attention was drawn to a strange glow in the sky. At first, he noticed a small white dot hanging motionless against the dark sky. A few seconds later, a stream burst out of it, resembling a fountain of steam or glowing gas. From the very beginning of the observation, the man felt that something strange was happening, so he managed to capture the phenomenon on camera. In the footage, one can indeed see the moment when the mysterious stream is ejected from the white glowing object, but despite the high-quality video, none of the specialists can explain this phenomenon. On the 12th of October, 2025, a resident of the Peruvian city of Lima witnessed an unusual celestial phenomenon. Going outside at night, the man noticed bright, flickering lights in the sky. Unlike stars, they periodically brightened and faded, and also changed the shade of their glow. The unusual spectacle lasted for almost 2 hours, after which the lights disappeared without a trace. The eyewitness managed to record what was happening on camera and published the footage on social media, but it was not possible to determine the nature of the anomaly. A married couple from the Australian state of Victoria went outside at night and noticed an unusual phenomenon in the sky: a bright, fiery pillar. At first, the couple thought that a fire had broken out somewhere nearby. However, when they zoomed in with their smartphone camera, it became clear that the source of the light was high in the sky, not on the ground. Frightened, the couple called emergency services. But just a few minutes later, the mysterious phenomenon disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only questions. An amateur astronomer observing the night sky through a telescope noticed an unusual object and at first assumed that it might be an alien spacecraft. After he published the images, experts quickly clarified the situation. It turned out that the footage had captured the comet 3I/Atlas. 3I/Atlas is the third known interstellar object that has passed through the solar system. It was first discovered in 2025 using the Atlas telescope system in Chile. Specialists explained that the unusual brightness, shape, and trajectory of the object often mislead people. However, detailed analyses by astronomers prove that 3I/Atlas has the typical characteristics of a comet. It has a coma, a cloud of gas and dust surrounding the nucleus, and a tail. The author of this video looked out the window and saw a strange ring of black smoke in the sky. At first, the man assumed that there had been a fire somewhere, but there was neither flame nor smoke in the surrounding area. There were no industrial facilities nearby either. Even more surprising was the fact that for an entire hour the smoke ring kept its shape and did not disperse, contrary to all the laws of physics. Footage of the phenomenon sparked heated discussion online, but what it was remains anyone's guess. In one of the Russian cities, a local resident encountered an unexplained celestial phenomenon. During an ordinary walk, he noticed several rectangular metallic objects in the sky. They hovered in the air, lined up in a perfectly straight line. At first, the man assumed that they were satellites, but he quickly dismissed that version, since the objects were moving at a relatively low altitude and did not resemble familiar spacecraft. The eyewitness managed to capture the phenomenon on camera and posted the video online. Users suggested many possible explanations for what had happened, ranging from test launches of experimental drones to atmospheric optical illusions. However, the true nature of this phenomenon remained a mystery. During a trip to Disneyland, a family from California witnessed an unusual celestial phenomenon above Anaheim. On the way, they noticed a strange pale yellow cloud with pink iridescent hues in the sky. Its shape was remarkably similar to a classic flying saucer. This surprised the eyewitnesses, and they captured the phenomenon on camera. The video published online instantly attracted the attention of internet users. Many noted that the cloud really does look like a typical UFO from science fiction films. However, some people still believe that it was simply a cloud that took on such an unusual shape because of a combination of certain weather conditions. Even if that is the case, the cloud still looked very mesmerizing. A wildlife photographer went to the Great Bear Rainforest Reserve in British Columbia to take pictures of bears. But instead, he encountered something truly mysterious. At some point, the photographer's attention was drawn to a strange dark formation obscuring a cloud. It looked like a dense shadow of irregular shape. But the most surprising thing about this observation was that despite the wind, the dark shape remained completely motionless. What was it? An optical illusion? A rare atmospheric phenomenon? Or something else? Unfortunately, that remains a mystery. Residents of New Jersey witnessed an unusual celestial phenomenon. Before their eyes, a strange cloud appeared in the sky that looked as if someone had cut a triangle out of cotton and hung it in front of the moon. This formation hovered much lower than the other clouds and stood out sharply against the night sky with its clear geometric contours. Eyewitnesses began suggesting various fantastic explanations for the phenomenon, but meteorologists say that such clouds form very rarely, though it does happen. In their opinion, the unusual shape could have appeared because of a combination of air currents at different altitudes, temperature differences, and humidity levels. A photographer was vacationing in the Hawaiian Islands and was very lucky to witness an extremely rare atmospheric phenomenon: a double circular rainbow. A double circular rainbow appears when sunlight reflects inside raindrops, not once, but twice. For such a phenomenon to occur, certain conditions are required: rain with fairly large drops, a bright sun positioned low above the horizon, and clean air. In addition, to see such a rainbow, the observer must be located at a specific suitable point. Unfortunately, the photographer did not bring a professional camera, so the miracle had to be captured on a smartphone. Even so, the footage looks impressive. An unusual video recorded by a surveillance camera in Northamptonshire in the United Kingdom made internet users wonder, what exactly is happening here? In the recording, a bird can clearly be seen hovering in the air. Its wings are fully spread, and it is clearly trying to fly forward, but something invisible seems to be holding it in place. It creates the impression that the bird has literally stuck to something. It is quite possible that the cause of this apparent glitch in the matrix was strong wind. In conditions of powerful wind, especially during sudden gusts, birds sometimes hover in place while flapping their wings intensely to maintain their position. The unusual sunset captured in this footage amazed drivers traveling along a highway in Texas. The sky seemed to split into two halves. On one side, it glowed with bright orange and golden colors, while on the other side, it remained dark, almost like night. Meteorologists explained this phenomenon by the features of cloud cover and atmospheric refraction. The sharp boundary appeared because of a clear separation of air masses. On one side, the sky was clear and the clouds were light, allowing the sunset rays to pass through. On the other side, there were dense clouds blocking the sunlight. A resident of Manchester could not believe his eyes when he saw that the sky above his head was divided into two parts. On one side it was clear and blue, and on the other it was covered with clouds. The boundary between them was so straight that it looked as if someone had cut a sheet of clouds and pasted it into the sky. The man recorded the phenomenon on camera and posted the video on social media. Among the viewers were experts who explained that the cause of the phenomenon lies in an atmospheric front, where two air masses with different density and humidity met but did not mix. The clear line formed because of a steady wind that kept the clouds confined to one area. In August 2024, residents of the Chinese city of Chengdu witnessed an astonishing sight. In the sky, besides the real sun, 6 more copies of it appeared, each with its own intensity of brightness. One eyewitness said that she had seen false suns before, but never so many at once. It turns out that the residents of the city were lucky enough to observe an optical phenomenon known as a halo, which occurs when sunlight passes through ice crystals in the atmosphere. In this case, ideal conditions probably formed: a high concentration of ice crystals at great altitude, and a specific arrangement of them relative to the sun's rays, which caused the appearance of multiple suns. This video was filmed in Vietnam. In the footage, a dark object resembling a clump of smoke suddenly falls from the sky. When it hit the ground, a splash occurred, and a small lightning flash appeared in the sky. It looked as if a fragment of a cloud had fallen to the ground, although that is impossible. Unfortunately, the author of the video did not provide any explanations, leaving viewers to wonder what it could have been. On the 9th of April, 2024, an unusual phenomenon occurred in Mexico. A glowing shape appeared in the night sky that constantly changed its outlines. At first, it looked like a bright red stripe stretching across the sky, and a moment later, it transformed into a circle. Eyewitnesses captured the event on camera, and this footage became the only evidence of the reality of the phenomenon. But what was it? Many viewers suggested that the object recorded in the video was connected with extraterrestrial civilizations. No other explanations for this phenomenon were found. Scientists aboard a research vessel were traveling towards Santa Barbara in the state of California. Suddenly, they saw a strange living creature appear in the sky. It had a small dark body and 4 translucent wings. The scientists immediately concluded that it was not a bird, since the creature had no beak, and such a number of wings is not found among birds. The creature resembled a fish more than anything else, but no fish can fly. The team managed to capture the creature on camera, but no one was able to identify it. Biologists were sent several times to the place where the unusual animal had been seen, but no one encountered it again. And that is all from me. If you like this video, do not forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. For me, your activity is the best reward. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Bye.